Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna finally be taking a look at the Chinese water dragon's new enclosure. Of course, I've had my Chinese water dragon for quite a bit now. I believe I got him at the Spring Expo show. Maybe it was the January Expo show. I've had him for a bit now, yet I haven't made too many videos about him. I think maybe one or two. I just usually like to have my animals acclimate for a bit before just getting them on carrying them, making sure they're doing well, thriving in their setup, eating for me good, all the good stuff, quarantining, everything like that. But he's got the all clear now, so it's finally time to check out that enclosure. So to do this, we're gonna be getting out of our chair and just heading, well, right behind me. It's actually just right there. I will be taking an in-depth look on everything that's in the enclosure, how I got it to set up the way it is, and pretty much everything like that. Then after, we're gonna be taking a look on why I feel that grow tents are actually the best enclosure you can have for Chinese water dragons. It's gonna be some good stuff, gonna be some awesome things. I think that's it. All that's else left is now to, roll the intro. Alright, so coming over here, we'll just take a quick look at the outside. What I'm using right here is a VivoSun. It is a 3 foot by 3 foot by 5 foot enclosure. Pretty much just a standard VivoSun grow tent. You can find pretty much any of these VivoSun products over on Amazon. They're fairly cheap. I believe I got this one for $80, $85, something like that. They get shipped pretty fast, and you get a nice enclosure. Other than that, of course, we got this little viewing window to go into the inside where you get little looks. I think that's him right there. Nope, that's just a vine. But let's open this tent up and check it out. Alright, now starting at the bottom, we'll just get down to, what the substrate mix is. For this enclosure, I used a topsoil peat moss mix. I wanted something that retains plenty of humidity and being able to get that out there inside this tent. Other than that, of course, we got the little water bowl. It did look like he left me a little present here. I'll have to clean out this water bowl and get some fresh water tomorrow. Now, of course, we got this little plant right here. Unfortunately, most of it, I had to chop a bunch of it down. You see, like, right there and there. But we still got some healthy stuff. We got some stems coming up. Hopefully those grow out and they give us some nice leafy branches. Probably the most important thing that everyone's trying to ask me right now is, Dakota, where did you get this incredible bamboo fencing? I got this bamboo fencing, again, off of actually, no, I believe I got this one at Home Depot. I just got anywhere. It's just a standard bamboo fencing you can find in the garden section. I believe this roll, it was like a $20 roll, and I was able to do this one, some of my Argus monitors, and my Quince monitors. It's pretty good stuff. It works pretty well, and I really enjoy this just because of the fact they can actually climb and utilize these entire walls to climb all the way up to the 5 feet area, like up there. Getting a little bit more up here, we got a couple different branches that he likes to go on. I made sure I zip tied, so we got some zip ties here, some over here, down here. That way these things aren't just gonna fall off when he's climbing on them. Then over here behind these plants, we got a nice little basking area for the log. This way he's able just to get climbing up a little bit and still get that designated basking temps after digesting, things like that, so at least they don't have the basking temp or the basking platform all the way on the ground. Of course, with Chinese water dragons being an arboreal species, they'd much rather be up here, a little bit higher to bask. And then coming up to the top portion, we got a few little pothos plants. I believe this is the pothos, and this one is just some species of ivy. I really noticed that the Chinese water dragon loves hanging out in the pots. It seems to be his favorite plant, probably just because of the fact that they are the tallest area. So of course, these being the highest point off the ground, he really enjoys being on these. I also find that the pothos helps a little bit, not only being able to create these arboreal little platforms for him, but also holding in that humidity. Of course, them being a high humidity species, this has made my life a lot easier, being able to have these live plants to make sure that that humidity stays. So I got the big guy off the plant, and here he is. A beautiful water dragon. He is not very happy. He really does not enjoy the camera, but what a marvelous dude. Just take a look at those bright colors, those nice spines, and then that colorful beard. That's one of the things I feel like isn't appreciated enough with Chinese water dragons, is the fact they have this glorious colorful beard that they can puff out when they're a little bit upset with you. Oh boy, here comes one. He's like, oh, there we go. His need for food outdid his fear of the camera. I've always had an admiration of Chinese water dragons because they're an amazing color. Oh man, he's not liking the camera. Of course, they've got this beautiful black tail going down. Again, just some lovely spikes. Oh, he is really not digging here. We'll back up a little bit for him. Just a marvelous creature. I really enjoy the aspects of them being arboreal while also being semi-aquatic, so needing a large water area. Of course, later on, we'll actually be giving him a bigger water area, being able to have him completely dive down. Things like this, take some nice swims. For now, this is just a little temporary water bin. Gets the job done, but isn't as nice as I would like it for the water dragon. And so I think that just about covers the enclosure. It's a pretty good looking thing. I'm pretty proud of it, I guess. Again, just such a beautiful animal. Let's get another close-in shot of him. Just marvelous. Alrighty, folks, so we're going to take it back over to the chair and then talk a little bit more about why I believe that this type of setup, with this setup being a grow tent, and why I think this is where I would most recommend keepers using a grow tent for specifically Chinese water dragon. And then before we wrap this video up, I just want to talk about a few points on why I believe that grow tents are really the best thing for a Chinese water dragon as far as an enclosure goes, and then just kind of listing some of those reasons. Number one, of course, has to be the practicality of grow tents. Not only do these things excel in holding in heat and humidity, of course with a tropical species such as Chinese water dragons, that is pretty much the best thing you can get. I've had literally zero problems with any of the husbandry issues of holding in, you know, that humidity, make sure my basking spot is completely on point, and then the relative humidity levels stay consistent. Other than that, of course, they come in a lot of customizable different setups. You can get some stuff as far as like baby Chinese water dragons goes, as small as a 3 foot by 2 foot by 3 foot, even spanning as large to a 4 foot by 4 foot by 8 foot. Really, the possibilities are limitless with grow tents, and that provides a lot of versatility when it comes to choosing your final enclosure for one. Another reason why I just love grow tents for Chinese water dragons is able to use that again, like some sort of fencing. Of course, I went with the bamboo fencing method. Another great choice is probably using lattice. Although with some wooden setups, I believe it would be pretty easy, just drill some of that in, although I feel like that'd be a little bit more difficult with the bamboo setup. However, with this, you're literally just lining it up and then zip tying it to the frame of the grow tent, and you're good to go. I really found that my Chinese water dragon loves climbing on the bamboo fence. He usually uses that primarily. He doesn't really hang out on the branches too much because he's able to just use the bamboo to crawl up and then go onto those spots that he loves to be on. My last reasoning, and probably the most important, is of course with the, I guess, the common thing that happens with Chinese water dragons' captivity. So of course, Chinese water dragons really don't understand the presence of glass. They don't really understand that there is this barrier between them and the outside, which causes a lot of, well, I guess you would call it mouth bashing, head bashing. Pretty much they're slamming their face against the glass or sliding against the glass trying to get out, which leads to some pretty severe issues with the face. You'll notice in a lot of older water dragons where their faces are pretty gone at some point, just because they've been doing that for so long, they're literally eroding their face away from bashing against the glass. Here's the thing with grow tents, is the fact that they have no hard material. With grow tents being made of that melamine, malin, whatever that word is, made of that kind of material, this creates a soft texture while still having the hardiness to withstand being clawed out. With that being said, not only is the Chinese water dragon not having these large windows to the fact where they're not only going to be stressed, but also with the fact that they're not going to be able to try to slam themselves out trying to get out. These animals are going to feel completely secured inside this material, while also of course providing, so again, that lattice or bamboo fencing, being able to utilize literally every inch of the space, being able to climb up, climb around, and having not that issue of slamming their face against a hard surface. All in all, in my opinion, I think grow tents are the perfect enclosure for Chinese water dragons, but this is the time where I want to know, what do you guys think? Leave me a comment down there in the comment section. Do you think grow tents make fantastic enclosures for water dragons, or do you think they're kind of crappy? I won't know the answer until you tell me. And other than that, of course, huge shout out to Zen Habitats. If you're unfamiliar with Zen Habitats, they're an after enclosure reptile maker thing. I always screw that up. They make fantastic enclosures, just like this one. Look right here. Wow, that is just incredible. Of course, maybe you're not a fan of the grow tent, man. Maybe you're like, Dakota, those reasons just weren't enough for me. I think your tent's crappy. I want a proper enclosure. Then would definitely check out Zen Habitats right down there in the description. They have a beautiful, I believe it's a 4 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot, which would be awesome awesome for a Chinese water dragon. Of course, if you want to know some information, check that out. Check out some pricing. It's right down in the description. Like I said, let's get into the other stuff. As always, if you liked the video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my animals or my breeding products, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, DBCB Exotics. We're also on TikTok. If you like some cool merch designs like these three right here, you can also find them down there at Teespring, where we have Patreon. Patreon.com/DBCBExotics, where we get the plethora of bonus footage when it comes to DBCB insider info. This includes, of course, information on up-to-date of my breeder stuff going on, the babies I'm producing. Of course, we got some ball pythons, monitor lizards, geckos, a plethora of geckos. We got so many geckos, folks. You don't want to miss out on those cute baby pictures. Hey, you can even get first dibs on the babies. You guys like tokay geckos. God, I know you guys like my tokay geckos. And if you're on Patreon, you get first on the list to get one. All sounds pretty good, right? Starts as low as $1 a month. There's a bunch of different tiers for a bunch of different folks. Definitely give that a check out. And I think that's about gonna wrap it up. Your name also gets to be in the outro that we're about to roll right now.